Head, neck, backbone straight. Let us keep our mind in the present moment. Let us let go all the past regrets, experiences, only the learnings we must keep. Let us let go all anxieties of the future, confusions in the present. Let us smile in the mind. Those who can smile with face also, it is nice. Last message of Bhagavad Gita from Lord Krishna is keep smiling. Na shucha. Don't worry. Let us chant loudly. We are doing Gita at glance. So we are at the introduction. So we are not chanting any verses, but we are chanting some verses of Gita Jnanam.
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गजाननं भूतगणातिसेवितं कवित्तजम्बूफलसारभक्षितम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजम्। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् गीता ज्ञानम् ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितं भगवतं नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणी भगवती अष्टादशादायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ददामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं
Hari Om. Thank you, Lata Rajshekar ji. So one question is normally asked, and we wonder sometimes that why this knowledge was not given to Duryodhana. I also had this question that why this knowledge is not given to politicians. Why only good people come to this knowledge? This should be given more to people who are there and doing all kind of things. Actually, war could have been avoided if Lord Krishna had given this knowledge to Duryodhana than to Arjuna. Interesting question. I was wondering there are answers for that. Number one, Lord Krishna had gone as a messenger to Hastinapur for giving this knowledge before the war started. So that is very important to know, not that he had not tried. There, Duryodhana mentions one very interesting verse. There is one interesting dialogue of Duryodhana. Very rarely Duryodhana's dialogues are there, but one very important verse comes. He says, Janami dharmam, janami adharmam. Bhagavan, I know. There are many people when we go to teach them, Bhagavad, I know. So we must immediately find out there is some Duryodhana qualities in that person and not waste our time. Because Duryodhana said, Bhagavan, I know what is good, what is bad. I know what is dharmam, what is adharmam. I know everything. Don't teach me. But second sentence is very important. He says, Bhagavan, there is some force in me which propels me to do bad things. And there is some force in me which propels me from not doing good things. And indirectly saying you are responsible for it. And many of us have these Duryodhana qualities also. Because many of us know what is good, what is bad, but we don't do it. We know what is good for health. We know what is good for our life. We know what is good. But sometimes we are unable to do the good things. And there are Duryodhana qualities. So very importantly, the topic why we took this particular point is we are on a topic called as Anubandha Chatushtaya of Bhagavad Gita, which is according to me very, very important. We are taught in life how to walk, how to talk, how to write. Many things schools and colleges teach us, but except Vedanta, nobody teaches us how to think. We know what to think, but how to think is a big topic. There is a difference between what we are thinking and how we are thinking. So Anubandha Chatushtaya, according to me, teaches us how to think. So the first thing is that why this knowledge was given to Arjun, because he was qualified for this knowledge. Not only that, very interestingly, Duryodhan refused this knowledge. Duryodhan told, catch this peace messenger, because actually as per law and rules and constitution, you are not supposed to catch the peace messenger who comes to your kingdom alone. You are supposed to treat him as a foreign guest, state guest, and then send him back with royal honor. But Duryodhan told, catch this magician. And very interestingly, Lord Krishna showed Vishwaroop to first Duryodhan and then to Arjun. There itself, Duryodhan saw Vishwaroop, but he was not able to accept reality. Knowing and accepting reality is very important. Some people want to close their eyes and no, I am not. Everything is good. Everything is good. But we have to see what is reality. Or some people, everything is bad. So we are on a topic called as Anubandha Chatushtaya, which is about Bhagavad Gita. 4 questions, and these 4 questions are very important because they teach us how to think. Who is the Adhikari? Actually, we can go on for long. I was telling yesterday somebody whom I met that summarizing is a big challenge than expanding, because one verse, one at a time was, comfortable, but summarizing everything together, what to drop, because all topics seems to be important. So this Anubandha Chatushtaya is 4 words we must keep, and this can teach us how to think. First is Adhikari. Who is the seeker? What are the qualifications of the seeker? Second is Vishaya. What is the subject matter we are going to take? Very important. We must know this. Third, what is the result? Prayojan. Very, very important. One myth we have to destroy here. Many corporate people, many people don't come to Bhagavad Gita knowledge with one misunderstanding that Bhagavad Gita tells them, do your karma, don't think about result. Do your karma, don't think about result. It is not told. So first of all, whenever I take corporate programs, they say, how can you tell Bhagavad Gita in corporate life? Because you do your work, don't expect salary. No, if salary I get, promotion I get, don't get it is okay. No. It is not told in Bhagavad Gita, because here we are discussing what is the prayojana. We must ask what is the consequence of whatever we are doing. And the 4th one is what is the sambandha, what is the relationship between this and that. Now we are going to discuss this because this is for entire Bhagavad Gita, and then we will enter first chapter. So the first one last time we saw in the last session was, who is the Adhikari? There must be qualifications for this knowledge also. If we are not qualified also, we can listen, but the benefits will be less. Now this one question, qualification, Adhikari is one very important word. Many of us, you say, why you're telling now, because it is no use. But we can ask the important question, what we are discussing in Monday class, tips for happy living, when we saw this 1 or 2 pointers. What are the qualifications to get married? Very important question to ask, because we only see one parameter, age. 18 ho gaya, 21 ho gaya, 24 ho gaya, get married. But what are the qualities to require to get married? Suppose I do not have qualities of getting married, which is one of the biggest project in life, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. So what are the qualifications? Adhikari must be there of marriage. Adhikari must be there of job. When we go from 12th standard to medical or engineering, we require qualification. But one question we do not ask, what are the qualifications required to get married? Only age is a qualification, or what are the qualities? And second, purpose, what is the prayojan? Acha, what will I get through marriage? Because suppose, Guruji gives this example, suppose we see a geography book, we don't expect recipes how to make idli, dosa, sambar. Like when we go to a shop, when there is a book on that, there is one photo of idli, vada, rasam. We know that that book might be related to cooking. And we don't expect that book to give us knowledge about geography, history, physics, etc. So we can use this Anubandha Chatushtaya in every part of life, especially marriage is a very important topic because we spend almost 30, 40, 50 years in one project. Endless, seems to be an endless project. So homework for today, what are the qualities to get married? What is the purpose of getting married? What is a prayojan? Then what is a vishaya? What am I supposed to do? And then what is the result? Like this marriage will give me this. Now we are going to discuss about Bhagavad Gita. So this is a practice, very important question. Whenever Guruji starts any text, he will say these 4 things quickly of any Vedantic text. So at the end of the book also, if somebody asks what is there in Gita, what will you get? We are ready with answers. What will I get reading Bhagavad Gita? Yeah, answer is there. What is there in Bhagavad Gita? Answer is there. Am I qualified? These are the qualities. What is the relationship between this text and the result? Answer is there. So now, very important. I know some of us have lost different classes for different topics. That topic we have taken in that class in detail. So last time we saw about a seeker, that all of us are seeker, definitely getting up Sunday morning and attending this class. So we are a seeker. I have been announcing about Swami Swarupananji's session since couple of classes. Thank you very much for coming there. Many of you came there. I know I met all of you. And some of you donated. So it was a grand success. 2 things are required. There has to be a speaker, there has to be a listener, there has to be an arranger, and there has to be a financer. 4 things are there. These 4 things are there in all, called as 4 ashrams. Sometimes we will take. So then what is there in Bhagavad Gita is the topic today we will start, where we saw that we are all seekers. Now this must be our important point to remember, that first I am the seeker of this knowledge, and then I am husband, wife, child, father, etc., manager, damager in office. First I am a seeker. Now I heard a very important statement, is that what I am having in life is not very important. What I am seeking in life is more important. What am I seeking? Power, money, health, knowledge. What am I seeking at this point of time is more important than what am I having in life at this particular point of time in life. So last time we saw interested in listening, reflecting, discussing, applying, experimenting with this. And that was the difference between Arjun and Duryodhan, because Arjun left that particular topic, that what is that force which propels me to do bad things, and what is that force which propels me to do good things. Now Arjun asked these questions. Same question Arjun asks later on in Bhagavad Gita, we will see. That Bhagavan, all this knowledge seems to be very nice to me, but very difficult to practice. What is the reason? And then Lord answers very beautifully. So What is there in Bhagavad Gita? Now, this topic we can have many sessions, but we will see Anubandha Chatushtaya we can complete today, and hopefully we can start the first chapter. First, Gurudev's answer, what is there in Bhagavad Gita? What is the Vishaya? He says, Krishna cure for Arjuna disease. Now, we are holding this, parking this particular topic because what is Arjun's disease? We must know with symptoms that we will see when the first chapter starts. And what is Krishna cure? 2 tablets. If we read Gurudev's commentary, he says there are 2 tablets to be taken. And these 2 tablets, Lord gives in the first chapter only. So, Krishna's disease, what are the symptoms of this disease? We must be able to figure out, and we will figure out that
Arjun
we are all
disease.
having this disease of anxiety syndrome, depression syndrome, confusion of duty, what is dharma, what is adharma, and we are not Duryodhan. So say, Bhagwan, I know. I want to explore whether whatever I know, it is the same thing what is there in Gita, what Lord is telling. And then Krishna's cure of 2 tablets. Very interestingly. 2 things Bhagwan gives in the second chapter itself, where he opens his mouth. First chapter, Krishna's silence also is very, very important, that we will see. Krishna is silent throughout the entire chapter. What is there in Bhagavad Gita? A journey from moha to moksha. From confusion to clarity, from ignorance to knowledge. No, but I know everything. But what is ignorance? Ignorance about who am I? Ignorance about who is God? Ignorance about what is this world? How to deal with this world? That is delusion. That is confusion. And moksha is, how can I get happiness from this world? Number 1. How can I get happiness by relating to God? What is my anchor in this life? Who is my anchor? And how can I get happiness from self? That we are going to see in detail. Very interestingly, we have 4 goals. 4 goals of life, in life and off life are given, and all are basically having more and more happiness only. Only the object of happiness changes in that. That we will see in the next slide. What is the confusion we have in life? What is my duty as a husband? What is my duty as a wife? This must be told before marriage. Because I may have my own duties, because who will tell me what is my duty as a wife? What is my duty as a husband? What is my duty as a father? What is my duty as a child? Who will tell? No, my grandmother told and my mother told, and that is the duty I saw, but that may not be the duty. And when to let go of the duty? Like as they say, as the girl and boy gets married, the parents let go the girl, ownership on the girl, all the attachment, love, and then let the girl go to the boy's place. Similarly, the boy's family also must let go power, authority, control. Now your control and power will be with that one woman. So who will decide the duty as a manager? No, I will decide. No, but then that is Duryodhan's style. Arjun will ask, Bhagwan, what is my duty? Number 1. And we have seen in the last session, Arjun asks 2 questions. Bhagwan, what should I do? What is my duty? And in what, where will be my Shreya? What is dharma means what is duty, and where will be my Shreya? Where there will be maximum benefit to me? Where there will be fulfillment in life to me and everybody? Who will determine? Me or Shastra or my neighbor or WhatsApp? Then how to perform? What should be I doing? What is the principle of determining it in various situations? What is my duty when I am working in Chinmay Mission? What is my duty when I am doing social work? What is my duty in house? What is my duty when I am walking on the road? What is my duty towards nature? What is my duty towards this nation? Who will decide? What is my duty? This is all there in Bhagavad Gita. And then what is the ignorance? Ignorance of who I am. That is very important. So these are all things are there in Bhagavad Gita. Soul clarity, goal clarity, role clarity, situation clarity, purpose clarity, process clarity. So many people ask, for Islam there is Quran, for Christians, there is Bible. For Hindus, you say Vedas. What is one text for Hindus? Bhagavad Gita, because Upanishad because Gita is one text manual for us, which gives all these answers much more clearly. Whatever a question a human being can have, those answers are there. Soul clarity, goal clarity, because that is one tablet what Lord Krishna gives to Arjun. So what is my goal? What is my role? This also we can discuss for long. What is my role, goal, situation, clarity as a householder? What is my role, goal, situation in office, in Chinmaya mission, when I'm doing social service? What is the purpose? What is the process I need to follow? What is there in Bhagavad Gita? War between inner world of emotions and thoughts and outer world of relationships and situations. This is very beautiful. There are two things simultaneously going on. War between inside and outside. Mahabharata is a story. So here also there are 1 lakh verses in Mahabharata, 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita. We must ask right questions. We must not ask questions like, okay, why did Bhishma Pitama didn't interfere when Draupadi Vastraharan was going on? That is a itihas part. One question is always asked, why Bhishma Pita, who was capable of destroying everything, on his name Hastinapur was running? Why he kept quiet when Draupadi Vastraharan was going on? One of the answer with one Mahatma gave is that when there is a argument between mother-in-law and wife, normally the husband remains quiet. Whose side he will take? Whose side? This is more difficult than Brahma Jnana. Whose side we should take when there is an argument between my mother and my wife? Gahan Prashna. And that's the reason Bhishma Pitama did one quiet, remain quiet. That is an answer. Silent. So there is war between inside and outside. What is happening inside me and what is happening outside me, there is a constant tussle, and that is Mahabharata war. Outside, what is there? Things, beings, experiences, situation, nature. There are 5 things outside. There is no 6th thing. Things, beings, experiences, situation, nature. We can add God here, but we are talking about world. Inside, what is there? Thoughts, emotions, knowledge, memory, desire, self-image. Inside, there are, we can say 5 to 6 things. So there is a war between this. Because I have desire for certain things I am not able to get, and I am getting those things which I don't want. And many people say most of the things what I want are either expensive or belong to somebody else. So now we are not going into detail, otherwise this itself will become one class. What is outside and what is inside, that is very clear. What is up and what is down is not known, but what is inside me and what is outside me, there is constant tussle going on. Right now, what am I feeling? What am I thinking? What is my knowledge about myself? What is my memory telling? We are all having memory disease, because what all things I'm keeping in memory, what all desires I have, how many desires are fulfilled, how many desires are unfulfilled. The only way to fulfill this desire is outside world. And world is not allowing me to fulfill all my desires. What is my self-image about myself? There is a constant war going on. This is there in Bhagavad Gita, how to deal with this. So Guruji gives this beautiful way. What is there in Bhagavad Gita? View of life and way of life. This is there in Bhagavad Gita. What is my view of life? Whenever I start class, there are some people here would be there. First class, I ask question that what is your definition of life? And I know some people, they had given one definition. Today, after listening to many scriptures, after 3-4 years, their definition of life has changed. And that is where the transformation happens. Some people say life is good, life is bad, life is mysterious, life is God, life is this, life is suffering, life is agitation, life is stress. This definition would change because my way of life is driven by my view of life. And this is very important because this is where Bhagavad Gita comes, because Lord Krishna doesn't give him arms, doesn't give him skills, doesn't change anything in the situation. He only changes his view of life, his view of fighting the war. Because he's already having the skills, he's having already the army, he's having the Astra Shastra, Kauravas are standing before him. He only changes his view internally, and when my view changes, my way of life changes, my expression, my behavior changes. So when people are behaving in a different way, which we like or don't like, we can understand their view of life. What is their view of life? Very important point. What is my view of life? So there are two homeworks. We can do Anubandha Chatushtaya of marriage. We can have that interesting introspection. And maybe in the family together can sit and discuss what is Anubandha Chatushtaya of marriage, what is Anubandha Chatushtaya of this text, what is Anubandha Chatushtaya of life. How to face life is the main topic in Gita. There is a very beautiful on YouTube session by Guruji. What is there in Bhagavad Gita? In short, because now we are looking at glance. So basically, Guruji says life is about perception and response. Something I perceive, something I respond. Something I perceive, something and respond. The only difference when this Gita knowledge comes, my perception remains same, but response changes. So before Gita knowledge and after Gita knowledge, situations will not change. My response will change. And those who have got this holy Gita, we all must read Gurudev's introduction to Bhagavad Gita is very important. Technically, he has given these two charts, diagrams, where it talks about perception and response. Perception comes from 5 senses, and what is my response to that situation? How am I handling success? How am I handling failure? How am I handling this person? How am I handling this situation? That is the difference between a person who is having this knowledge and a person who doesn't have this knowledge. Person who doesn't have this knowledge may react to situations where here we get a response. Goal clarity, role clarity, situation clarity. Bhagavad Gita, what is there in Bhagavad Gita? So if somebody asks us this question, what is there in Bhagavad Gita? We can give some of these answers, whatever we remember. 4 things are there in Bhagavad Gita. This normally I take a session of 45 minutes. What is there in Bhagavad Gita? Normally I mention this. What is the goal of life? Goals in life. First thing what has been given. Sadhya. Qualification of a seeker. Sadhak. Qualifications of an enlightened person. Okay, but who will I become after I get this knowledge? Siddha. Sthita Prajna Lakshana are going to come in the 2nd, 3rd chapter. Paths to achieve the goal of life. What are the different paths? That paths, how will I decide what is my path? Depending upon my temperament. That is there in further chapters on Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Whether I am more Rajasic, Tamasic or Sattvic. That will decide my path. I must not copy each other's path. Okay, this person is like this, so I will copy him. No. I must figure out what is my nature. And accordingly, I must take my food. I must take my exercise. I must take my path also. For some people, they can eat 1 bowl of mirchi. I know one person, we normally joke and say that his half salary goes into mirchi. One can eat 5 to 10 mirchis with every meal, and another person little chili and then acidity starts. Nature is, some people say one medicine is like applicable for all. No, it cannot be. Some people can eat curd rice every day. Some people curd little bit means. So what is my nature? So on that, my path will be decided. So why Bhagavad Gita is a complete text? Because it gives Jagat Vichar. What is this world about? We must know. How to relate with world. How to get maximum happiness with what is there in the world. I must know the technique, how to get happiness from people, how to get happiness from things. This is what we are discussing on Monday, 7 to 8 in Jivan Sutrani. Jiva Vichar, who am I? We never pay attention to a person who is drunk. I know that at least one person you have met in life who has got drunk in some forum. And the person who gets drunk starts saying anything, and we normally laugh. Hey, don't bother about this person because he's drunk. Who is a person who is drunk? A person who forgets who is he. And that is what is happened to us when we are born. We have forgotten who we are. Yesterday, Swamiji told in the session that our potential is infinite. Jagadishwar Vichar, who is God? So henceforth, anybody comes to us and asks, do you believe in God? Please ask this question. Okay, that question we will discuss later on. First of all, we'll discuss what is your concept of God, what is my concept of God. And when people say, actually, I don't believe in God and temple, but I believe in power, the same thing. Who is God is more important to know than whether we believe in God. Belief comes much later with knowledge. Praman Vichar, what is this validity of knowledge? What is the relationship? And what is the essence of this life? Tattva Vichar. And then, very interestingly, Bhagavad Gita is Upanishad Su. It is basically expansion of one Mahavakya, Tattvamasi. 1 to 7 chapter is who am I? I will know about what is my nature. 7 to 12 about who is God. And 13 to 8, what is the relationship between me and God or the universe. So Bhagavad Gita is all these kind of things. You can add because so many things are there, but this is what I heard from the masters. What is there in Bhagavad Gita? We must know what is a Vishaya. It is very important to know what is a Vishaya. We can apply it to anything. Suppose somebody says, okay, let's go for a movie. What is the Vishaya of the movie? Horror movie, comedy movie, romantic? No, I am not interested in horror movie. Comedy, yes. Comedy I like. Romantic. Vishaya I must know. So this I can apply. What is the Vishaya of that? We must not reject or accept anything without knowing what is the Vishaya and what I am going to get. So we saw two things. The seeker, Adhikari, we saw what is the Vishaya. Third, very important one, what is the result? What will I get after knowing, after listening to this Bhagavad Gita knowledge? That is the Prayojana. Now, some masters say some people come with all kinds of expectations to Bhagavad Gita that moment I read Bhagavad Gita, all my problems will dissolve. No, here itself in Mahabharata, we saw this. After this knowledge, the situation didn't disappear for Arjun. He had to kill his grandfather. He had to kill his teacher. What he was worried, his certain things got changed and he got a particular result. Freedom from ignorance, fear, delusion. So, what do we get? What is the result? What an important thing. I will be fearless. In Taittiriya Upanishad, they have a concept called as fearless happiness. Important concept. Our all happiness, what we get from world is having one kind of fear that this happiness will go. Is there a possibility of fearless happiness? I will not have any confusion on what is to be done, what is not to be done in that situation. There will be less panic, there will be less anxiety, there will be less stress. What an important point. Second thing, third thing, there will not be any ignorance about who am I, what is this world, what is my purpose. Many people say, yeah, everything I know, but what is my purpose of life? Why did God create everything? And then he is enjoying. All these questions will disappear. No questions that what is my purpose, why this world was created, when this creation happened, when did God create everything. All these questions are answered in this Bhagavad Gita. All types of ignorance will go. So, Bhaya, Shoka, Moha, These three are the result. Freedom from it. Self-knowledge. Who am I? Who is God? What is this world? Ignorance goes away. Having gained these, Guruji says that there remains nothing more. So, Bhagavad Gita, listening or knowing will lead to fulfillment in life. This is Guruji's favorite word. It will not give us satisfaction or happiness or joy. It's a total fulfillment. What is total fulfillment? Three things are there where whole day, whole life, again life after life we go for. What are the three things which are behind which are the motives of every action? We are seeking basically three things. Either I want to gain something in life, so I do action. Either I want to know something or I want to become somebody. The girl wants to become wife, the wife wants to become grandmother, the student wants to become graduate, the graduate wants to become earner, manager wants to become general manager. So every time I want to become somebody, there is a designation. Then I want to know something in life. Is there an end to knowing? Yes, there is an end to knowing. Is there an end to gaining? Yes, there is end to gaining. Is there an end to becoming? Yes, there is end to becoming. Nothing to be gained, nothing to know, nothing to become, nothing to go. Kabir Das ji says, na lena, na dena. Means I have added many things ahead of. Na lena, na dena, the पूछना, na batana, na जानना, na बोलना, na कुछ पाना, na खोना. बस मगन में रहना. Once I discover that source of happiness, there will be total fulfillment of life. What a beautiful fruit. Why people don't come to spirituality? Because they think spirituality is after 60-year-old, and after I complete all the kind of running around in the world, then I will sit back and listen to Bhagavad Gita and meditate. No, here they say that here and now I can get fulfillment in life. Two questions I normally ask people when I do corporate program. Do you think you are successful? Do you think you are happy? And then on these two things, we can have so many sessions. Is there a possibility of total fulfillment? It is not contentment or complacency. It is total fulfillment, completeness. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam. Last verse of Bhagavad Gita gives again what we have studied recently, few sessions back. What Bhagavad Gita is, result is. Bhagavad Gita itself gives what is the result, not that we have to assume and say that this is what is the result of Bhagavad Gita. Prosperity. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhuti. So we have discussed in detail about this verse. Prosperity, happiness, inner and outer victory, value-based living. Four things Bhagavad Gita's result. What a wonderful result. So now very importantly, henceforth, if anybody asks, what will I get? Why should I come for Gita class? You're all attending Gita class and going there and attending every Sunday and then studying and discussing. And then again and again discussing, again and again listening, again after listening verse by verse, again Gita by glance. Because these four things I want, and not only I want, 7.7 billion people on this planet, they want these four things. What more we want? There are only four things in life. Prosperity. Prosperity means success, achievement, power, fame, happiness, inner and outer victory. Wherever I go, I win. And value-based living. They say that when there is value-based living, before sleeping, there is no worry or tension whether I've done right or wrong. With values, one sleeps well, and with goal, one gets up inspired. So when there is a noble goal, one gets up inspired in the morning, and when follows value, one sleeps peacefully. Very important one, because both things are important: to live waking life inspired and to sleep peacefully when we sleep. Both goals in life and goal of life. Result. This is very important. Kama, Artha, Dharma, Moksha. Now here we will destroy another myth. There is no difference between spiritual people and material people. The only difference between spiritual material people, because we have to understand what material people are seeking and what spiritual people are seeking. In our own Shastra, it has been given. Both of them seek happiness. The only difference is from where are you seeking this happiness. So Kama means what? Very interesting definitions. These are the 4 Purusharthas of our Shastra. Very important one. These are the 4 motivators. These are the 4 source of actions from where the action comes, and these are the 4 things what people want. Entire humanity, irrespective of religions. First, Kama means happiness from outside is first 3. Kama, Artha, Dharma means happiness I am seeking from outside. Very important point. Everyone is seeking happiness. From where? Kama, Artha, Dharma means seeking happiness from outside. And Moksha means seeking happiness from within. So what is Kama? Kama means happiness from things and beings. It is very important to know how to enjoy things and how to enjoy people's presence and absence, both. Kama. I must know, otherwise, there are so many people, so much is there in life, but still sad and depressed and angry and frustrated. Because I don't know how to derive happiness from another person, how to be happy with a thing. So Kama means happiness from things and beings, which we call as pleasure. Artha means happiness from wealth, power, fame. Dharma means happiness from knowledge and noble deeds, because dharma is higher, because these are all going in degree. Huh? Lowest happiness is from things and beings. More than that, people say, okay, things and beings are there, but when I achieve something, when I have power and fame, there will be more happiness. When I go to the next level, happiness from dharma, happiness from knowledge and noble deeds, I might get swarga, I may get higher worlds. There's a higher degree of happiness through knowledge. Knowledge is the key for happiness. Ignorance is the key for sorrow. People who are poor, they are suffering lack of knowledge of how to become wealthy. People who are having disease or illness, they are having lack of knowledge of the cure, like corona we saw. People who are suffering, they are not having knowledge of how to be happy, full stop. People who are agitated, angry, stressful, they are not having the knowledge of how to become peaceful. Buddha said, desire is the cause of suffering. And there is a solution to it. And then moksha, which is the important topic of Bhagavad Gita, is happiness from the source, permanent, unbroken happiness. Now I have to do one more homework. So 3 homeworks today. First was marriage anubandha. Second, what am I seeking? Third, what is my dependency for happiness on? Whether it is more of kama, whether it is more of artha, whether it is more of dharma, or now I have taken a U-turn and now I know that if I want to have permanent happiness, I need to seek within, because outside happiness is going to give me impermanent happiness, temporary one. First 3 are temporary sources of happiness. Moksha is the source of happiness. And now this is an important pointer in Bhagavad Gita, because Arjun, first chapter we are going to see, he blabbers and gives all logic, and he says, Arjuna Vishada, sadness, depression, anxiety, emotional drain, physical fatigue, and Lord Krishna gives him first soul clarity, that who are you? A very important one when we are going to see the first chapter, and that will be one of the tip for us, that if somebody comes to us with a problem, we must not bounce off more problems on him. Number one, Krishna remains silent throughout the first chapter. When somebody is blabbering and vomiting all their sorrow and problems, Krishna remains quiet. No solution given, quiet, listens completely. And then what he does in the second chapter, we will see when the second chapter comes. So this is a tip, because many people come and say their problems or say this is happening, that is happening. How to respond? Otherwise, we add to their problem. Arey, my leg is paining. Somebody will come. Yeah, I know. 6 months back, there was this person, there was there, his leg also paining. It had to be cut. Arey, baapre, the person shared his problem. I have added 2 more fears in his mind. And most people are waiting for their sharing. Anything you say, this is mine. Somebody says my problem, you share, my problem is bigger than you. Or if I am not having my problem, I will share 4 people's. No, this happened to them. So these are there, what is there in, what will I get? Now, there is some time to complete. What is the relationship? This is slightly subtle. So let us take a deep breath. If some of us are having breakfast, I have already started breakfast or walking or watching WhatsApp, that now what is the time, we have to pay attention, because this is what we have to learn, that what is the relationship. One of the most mysterious thing in life is relationship. What is my relationship with myself? What is my relationship with God? What is my relationship with people? So relationship, sambandha, is a very important one. So in the Anubandha Chatushtaya, most interesting and subtle point is what is the relationship between the text and the result. Now before that, suppose I go to a library and I see one book or a shop which is giving me recipes of different items. South Indian dishes, Punjabi dishes, non-veg dishes. So suppose I like South Indian, I will pick up South Indian recipe. Now, after reading that book, now this is a very important point. After reading the recipes, I will not get the food. There will be a lot of action, effort, time, investment, money to get the food, because suppose I say how to make idli, then there are 100 things to be done. Actually, suppose I list down, suppose first of all I have to have money, I have to earn money, then I have to go to market, and there are 100 products to make money, then there's a mixer, this, that. And now we can buy the idli, and now in Ghatkopar also, I know some people are staying Ghatkopar. Mani's cafe has started. Now we need not come to Chembur. Mani's day before yesterday it started. Now I can order idli and eat, but suppose I want to make, then there are so many things. But here what has been promised, that the moment I will get the result will be instant. Now there should be question in our mind, that result we know, seeker we know, but then why the time is taking, we should know. So very, very important point. Sambandha, what is the relationship? The moment I know about this particular knowledge, I must get the result. That is a promise. There is no need for action in between. What is an example? There was one actor, actually, real life incidents. He did acting for 30 years as a woman. Because earlier days, men used to do women's acting. Now, after 25, 30 years, because he did women's role on the stage for 3 hours, for 3 shows, for 30 years, he started thinking that he is a woman. Now, he used to dress like a woman, bindi, sari, and then sit down like on a chair, and then people would say, but you are a man. You are a man. You have to dress like this, walk like this like that. He used to. And then he went to a doctor, then doctor went into his clinic. Inside, he told, you are a woman. And that instant when this knowledge reappeared in his mind, there was no difference. He started walking, he started eating, he started sitting like a man. So how much difference was there in this earlier state and this state? 1 second. No difference. There was no action in between. because he was assuming himself as a woman, and it took 1 minute for him, 15 seconds for him to realize he was a man actually. He was thinking like he was a woman. Now this story, you might say, no, what is the importance of this story? Yesterday Swamiji was telling that we are that, but we are thinking that we are this, we are only this body, we are only this mind, and my bechara, one bechara person. No, you are that Sat Chit Ananda, infinite consciousness, bliss. And what have you think? What are you become? Who have you become? Always cribbing, complaining, crying. Gap is there only for Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Ekagrata. Very important one. So this knowledge will give instant result. What we have to practice is Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Ekagrata. Purification of the mind and concentration of the mind. Once this is accomplished, the result promised by Bhagavad Gita is instant. So in Gita, to conclude today, what is there? This knowledge is given. Paths to purify are given, and contemplation, meditation techniques are given for Chitta Ekagrata. So that's the reason Gita is a complete text. Complete text. No stone is unturned, because Lord Krishna knew that this Gita will be studied, listened, analyzed, dissected after thousands and thousands of years, and it will be applicable. So this way we have completed this Anubandha Chatushtaya. Next session, definitely 2 sessions are short for introduction of Gita. If we actually listen to commentaries by Gurudev, Guruji or Advayananda Swami, so many sessions are there before Bhagavad Gita actually starts. But next session, we are going to take the first chapter and enter the first chapter and see first chapter at glance. So we saw today Anubandha Chatushtaya, the qualifications of a seeker, the Vishaya of the text, the result what I am going to get, and the relationship between this text and this result, because it has to be instant, like a deep sleeper getting up. The only work what we have to do is to clear our mind, Chitta Shuddhi. Now the one question we have to hold, because we will take her, okay, Chitta Shuddhi, when you talk, what has made my Chitta Ashuddha? That we are going to take it later on. So again, thank you very much for coming to yesterday's session and making a grand success. There are many people who worked for it almost for a month and 2 months, and it was a grand success. 850 sadhaks had come to listen in Fine Arts Chembur, 800 down, 50, 75 up. And I think it was a grand show in Chembur. Thank you very much for all your presence and contributions, because I have been announcing this. So now it's a completion of that. Today there is one session in Kandivali in Hindi. So those who are staying nearby in Borivali, Kandivali can go there. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you very much.